How to remember GED Colonial America dates and events. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by all the dates and events from Colonial America while preparing for the General Educational Development Social Studies test? You are not alone. Let's break it down into manageable pieces to make it easier to remember. First, let's look at the time frame. Colonial America stretches from the early 1600s to 1776. This is when European settlers began to establish colonies, and it ends with the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The colonization period wraps up around 1783 when the Revolutionary War concludes. Next, focus on key events and dates that shaped this period. For example, in 1607, Jamestown became the first permanent English settlement in North America. Then in 1620, the Pilgrims arrived on the Mayflower and established Plymouth colony. By 1732, all 13 British colonies along the eastern coast were completed. In 1765, the Stamp Act was imposed by Britain, which led to protests from the colonists. The Boston Massacre occurred in 1770, marking a deadly clash between colonists and British soldiers. Just a few years later, in 1773, the Boston Tea Party took place as a protest against British taxes on tea. The First Continental Congress met in 1770 to coordinate resistance against British rule. The following year, in 1775, the battles of Lexington and Concord marked the start of the Revolutionary War. Finally, in 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed, marking the colony's break from Britain. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 officially recognized American independence. Now let's make these dates easier to remember. You can create simple memory aids. For instance, you might say, Jamestown in 1607, Plymouth in 1620, colonies done by 1732. Or try, Stamp Act in 65 made colonies strive. Grouping events by themes can also help. Think about settlement and colonization with Jamestown and Plymouth. Then consider tensions with Britain, which include the Stamp Act and the Boston Massacre. Steps to revolution include the Continental Congress and the battles leading to independence. Using flashcards or timelines is another great way to practice. Write the event on one side and the date on the other. Regular review will help reinforce your memory. Drawing a timeline can also help you visualize the order of events. Lastly, remember that Colonial America involved various European countries, mainly England, France, and Spain, settling in North America. They interacted with Native Americans and developed societies that eventually sought independence. This context makes the dates more meaningful and easier to recall. By focusing on key dates, grouping events by theme, and using simple memory tools, you can effectively remember the important dates and events from Colonial America for your GED Social Studies test.